and turn it over to you. Tom, you should be getting notified of that.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm downloading.
Do you want me to try to get download? There you go.
Let's see.
You're all set, Tom.
All right, thank you. So let's see. Let me move this window. You can see my screen, right? It's a robot.
Yes, you can.
What's that?
Right.
Somebody needs to mute their phones.
What's that?
Baby, I'm on the phone.
Please move the background.
The cat is good.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, if possible, if everybody can mute their phones, that would be great. So last week, let's see what we did last week. Yeah. Can you hear me? I think I heard like only the host can talk.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So last week we talked about installing Linux on a Windows computer and just a few Linux commands. So I had to, so what I tried last night was, so let's see, today we're going to talk about connecting to a Twitter API and downloading, let me see, we can allow here, and exporting Twitter lists to CSV files. So I tried this last night from scratch and it worked. So I have a virtual machine, I have like a Linux installation called Ubuntu in case it doesn't work again. Because, like in technology, one day it works, the next day it just doesn't work. I don't know, just for some reason, like unknown reasons. So I installed a new Linux installation, a new Linux virtual machine here, so we can start the process from scratch and you can see like step by step how I'm going to do it. But in the case that it doesn't work, I can just go back to the other Linux machine from last night and this one is up and running already. So let me start this for now. I don't know how many people were able to install Linux last week or up to today. But I published an article on my blog with a video, and you can follow that step by step on how to install Linux on Windows. And I'll go and I'll show you my website in a little bit as soon as I log in here. So let's see. Let me do the scale mode. So
excuse me, Tom. Whoever has a TV in the background playing, please mute your phone.
Yeah, if we hear like a TV or some background.
Michael, are you able to mute people individually?
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now.
Don't mute me.
So, by the way, this is a new computer. Well, it's a used computer that I got really cheap. But I haven't activated Windows yet. So that's why, probably you see on the bottom right is activate Windows. Let me do something here because this is on the way and I cannot see the menu. Hold on. Close this. Okay. So let me go quickly to my website. I mean, I document everything, because sometimes I want to do it again, and then I forget what I did. I do most of these things at night, like really late at night, and just let's see. Okay, this is the one from last week. From zero to hero in Linux. So if you go to an article, I have all of the details on how to set up Linux on a Windows computer, and it has a video. The video is like 20 minutes long, but it's just if you follow that, it's step by step on how to do it. But for now, we're going to connect to a Twitter API. And I wrote another article. Well, actually, I updated an article for that, and we're going to follow those steps. So that one's called Sourcing with the Twitter API. Let's see if I can close this. No. Okay. Let me try to remember this. Okay. So connecting to Twitter API, the purpose again is if you have a Twitter list, you can convert it into a CSV file. So for that, of course, you need to have a Twitter account. So I'm going to log into one of my Twitter accounts. So just give me a second. And I need to look up my login here. Let's see. Twitter. Okay, I have one that's called Tom.xl. And it has like a very long password, so just give me a second. Okay. What else? You still hear like a very loud noise on somewhere there, right? Okay, hopefully, yeah, that's good because such a long password, I don't know if I wanted to put it in again. Man, how can I close this window? This is like, oh, anyways. Okay, so I log into one of my Twitter accounts, and now let's see. Let me follow this process. The process says that I need to go to Twitter Application Management and create a new app within my Twitter account. So I'm gonna click on this link, and I'm gonna show you what it says. So it says create an application. So this URL, it's on my website, but it says right here Application Management, and it says create an application. So let's just put a name for this. I think I have one already in my dashboard. So let me just put Let me change the name. Let's put sourcing Twitter, and let's call it sourcing using Twitter. Oops. And then you have to put a website. So I'm gonna put my website. Let's see. HTTPS. And that's it. And just click this. Yes. Create your Twitter application. The next thing is, let's see. Let me follow steps because I don't want to forget. Go to permissions and set access to read, write, and access direct messages. So this is permissions, and it says click this one that says read, write, and access direct messages. And just go to update settings. Let's see. Status, okay, saved. Okay, looks like we are done creating the app within Twitter accounts. Let me see what's next. I went too far. This is, okay, this scrolling is kind of sensitive. The next one, it says you might need to authorize your Twitter account with your mobile phone. I don't think we need to do that right now. I mean, I didn't do it last night, so hopefully it will be fine. Excuse me. So then, okay, if you are on Windows, you need Linux in a virtual machine. So we are already there. If you don't have a website, what do you use? I mean, I think it doesn't really matter. You can put any website. I don't think it has mattered before. So you just need to put something there. But it needs to start with HTTP, otherwise you will get an error. Okay, what I need to do is, if you're on a Mac, then it's easy. You need to for this you don't need to install Sublime, but you only need to install iTerm. Okay, you need to have knowledge of the command line. We saw a little bit of this last week, but we're gonna do it again just a little bit for this exercise. But mainly the next step right now is that we need to install Ruby, because to connect to the Twitter API, we're going to use a software package that is built in Ruby. So we need to install Ruby within Linux. And I have another tutorial for that. Let's see. Okay, this one says installing Ruby on Ubuntu. Okay, first thing that we need to do is we need to open the terminal. Let's see, because I have some requests allowing people. Okay, so open the terminal in Linux. To open the shortcut for opening the terminal is with Control-Alt-T. Otherwise, you can just search for it. I know that my desktop might look a little bit different than yours if you have Ubuntu, because I installed like a different type of desktop, but it's mainly the same. If you go to the search box and you search for terminal, is this one? And that's just going to open the terminal, the black screen. Let's wait a little bit. Okay. And here the next step is that we need to change something in the preferences of the terminal. And I believe this is in Edit. Profile preferences, command. Then there's a checkbox that says run command as a login shell. We need to click here. Close. And let's see what else. Okay, we did that. Okay, it says close the terminal. Let's start a new one. So what that means is just that, we need to close the terminal. Let's close terminal. Close. And this is like behaving kind of weird. Close terminal. Okay. Open the terminal again. So let me try that. Control Alt T. Okay, we open it again. What's the next step? It says right here, okay, there's a website to install Ruby, and that website is called rvm.io. So we're going to follow that website for now. Let me open a new tab here, rvm.io. So the page says Ruby version manager RVM, and we're gonna follow some steps there so we can copy paste the commands, which will be easier. And let's see, there's a menu here somewhere. I wonder why it looks so big on my screen. It's a little bit annoying. Let's see. I think I put this already here, but I just want to make sure that it's the same. The first thing that we need to do is we need to copy this command into a terminal, which is sort of like making a secure connection between the terminal and the website where we are going to download Ruby from. So let me copy this all the way to the end. The thing is that the screen looks really big on my computer. Just give me 1 second. Maybe I can just try to do it like, close this. Maybe, I think this is better. Just open a little bit more here. Okay, so let me copy this command. Copy, go to a terminal, paste. So to paste, if you attended last week, to paste into a terminal in Linux, it's not just Control-C and Control-V, but to paste into a terminal or to copy from the terminal, you have to use the combination Control-Shift and then the letter. So if you need to copy, it's Control-Shift-C. If you need to paste, it's Control-Shift-V. So I need to type in Control-Shift-V, enter. I think this is what I got into issues last time. Last night. Let's see. Okay, I did that. Now what? Then run this command to install RVM. Let me make sure that I'm typing it correctly from the website. Core. Okay. So copy this, then go to a terminal, and yes, so when you copy from the website, it's just regular Control-C. But when you paste into a terminal, it's Control-Shift-V. Let's see if that works or not. The program core is not currently okay, it's not installed. I knew we were gonna run into issues. So let me do that. Sudo apt install core. Yes. Let's see. Just wait a little bit. Processing. Okay. So let me type in the command again. Well, I don't have to type it again. I can just use the arrows to go up, and I'll see the previous command. Okay, enter. Let's see if that works. Last night it didn't work. Yeah, exactly the same situation. So it says right here that the verification failed, meaning that it couldn't verify that the security, let's call it the security certificate was the same on the server where I'm downloading Ruby and in my computer. So, but it's giving me like already a solution. It says try to install GPG version 2 and see if it works. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy this. So to copy, remember, Ctrl-Shift-C, and to paste back, Ctrl-Shift-B, Enter. Let's see what happens. What? Key imported. No ultimately trusted keys found. Total number process imported 1. Okay, it looks like this one's different. It looks like this one worked. But let me see how I got here. Okay, Coral, right? I tried to install Coral. It didn't work. So let me try to enter that command again. This one, no, it's not. It's this one. Coral something stable. Enter. Let's see what happens. Download. Okay, looks like it's working. It's installing RVM into his computer. Allowed to join. Yes. So it says right here, downloading signature, good signature, installing RVM to Home Neo. I'm reading right down here. Installing of RVM in Home Neo. Okay, you don't have to understand all of this stuff. But basically what we were trying to do is trying to install this program called RVM, which is called a Ruby version manager that has the Ruby packages for us to install. So then what we did was we wanted to install some sort of like security certificate between my computer and the server where those packages are. So initially I followed the first step, but the first step didn't work. Actually, it worked. But the second step was installing RVM into the computer. The computer complained saying that the security certificate was not correct or was not signed. So then it gave me an output, and the output was, it gave me 2 solutions. The first solution was to install some package. So I did that, and it seemed to work. Then I ran the command again and to install RVM, and this time it worked. So right now we are here. We did this, and I have those, the troubleshooting on my website because I did it last night, and I found something similar as well. So the next step, we did that. The command called stable. So it says right here, close the terminal and open it again. Okay, so we got all the way here. Close the terminal. Open it again. So the shortcut is Ctrl-Alt-T, the letter T. Excuse me. So we open it again. And then we have to open this command, which says source RVM, scripts RVM. So let's just copy this. Let's just copy. And then paste. So that seemed to work.
Tom, can you check chat?
Yeah. Check the chat?
Yeah, check the chat.
Let's see. Sudo app install curl. Okay. Follow the same steps on Kali and Safari work for me. Okay. Probably you must be a fan.
Why is it not ultimately trusted keys found?
Yeah, I think that's a bug in the RVM program. So I can look it up later because last night I found the same and I thought, why is it showing me that? I was trying to look it up because I think it might be a bug in the software. So let's see. I think I can close the chat. Okay, so the last command that I put in there was this one, source RVM, scripts RVM. The next command says, and this is using many of the symbols and the characters that I was showing on last week. So for example, this one, I was explaining about input and output redirection. So what that means, if you don't remember, it's, a computer is sending data from one place to another place all the time. So that's called input and output. And input and output is I'm typing into a computer, and whatever I'm typing is sending that output into the screen right now. In this case, into the terminal. But if you don't want the result to be on the terminal, you can send that somewhere else. So what I mean by that is that, like when I type some command and it show me all of those results, like key, GPG, whatever, if I don't want, let's say that I want to save that file, because I wanna read it later. Like right now I cannot see it because I cleared the screen. But if I want to save that for later, like save it into a text file so I can read it and try to understand it, then I can do that using redirection. And using redirection, there are a few symbols for sending data from one place to another place. So one of those symbols is the greater than sign. The greater than sign sends the output to a file. Two greater than signs adds the output to a file. The main difference is that the one greater than signs replaces the contents, and I have, we can look at this in a little bit later. But the main example that I wanted to put right now is this one, which is, this symbol is called a pipe, which is usually under the backspace key on the keyboard on the right side. And that mainly what it's doing is, type RVM is producing some results. So instead of printing that result on the screen, I want to send that result to the input of these commands. So right now you don't have to understand what this command means. But what is important to understand is just the concept of input and output. So let's copy this command and paste it onto the terminal. Control-Shift-V, and it should say RVM is a function. So if you get that, that means that RVM is correctly installed. RVM is a function. Okay, so right now we are ready to install Ruby, and installing Ruby is very easy. The only thing that perhaps you have to be aware of is that Ruby is updated every so often. And so if you want to install the latest Ruby version, you have to go to the official Ruby website. So let's do that. So you can check what the latest Ruby version is. So let's just Google Ruby, and it's usually the first website that says Ruby programming language. And I usually do, let's see, where do I get the version number? If you click on download Ruby, you don't have to, I'm not downloading Ruby from here, but I just want to see a version number. And it says right here that the current stable version is 2.42. And so when I run this command, which is, where is it? It's here. Which is RVM install 2.42, that's the version that you have to put in there. If tomorrow the website says 2.43, then, you have to change it to 2.43. So let me look at the command really quickly to see if anybody has questions. Okay. So let's do that. RVM install 242. Copy. Paste. And this might take a little bit because it needs to connect to RVM, use the security certificate, find the program, let's see, it's asking me for a password. Type in a password. Finding the files, downloading the files, compiling them, etc. So it might take, I don't know, like 5 minutes. Let's see. Anybody has any questions while this is downloading? Any problems, any issues? I know this is like a lot of, maybe it looks like a lot of info. Let's see. Do you need to have another terminal screen open to serve as a Ruby terminal? So when we like we went through a process of like installing and closing and opening the terminal again and closing it again. So that's something very important, like Ruby server. Yes. Yeah, so usually what I do is, I think that the question is, I'll give you the example of, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ruby on Rails. So Ruby on Rails is a framework for developing web applications mostly. So for that, you need to, you write code on a file. You write different code, different programs on files, and you need to run a server. So usually what you do is that you have a terminal split into three parts, or split in half, where the left side is sort of like the text editor where you type in the commands, where you type in the programs, and the right side has a server that is either constantly running, or you run it and you start it and you run it again. I don't know, did that answer the question? So let's just wait a little bit more here. You're not able to. So someone is asking, I'm not being able to do a source part. So if you can please put in the chat exactly what you typed into the terminal for doing the source part, please. So let's see, almost done. Okay. Yeah, so you're asking, running as root is not the best idea. So there are two types of users when you run Linux, and you interact with the computer through the interface, which is the terminal. So usually there are two types of users, and usually this happens in Windows and on Mac as well. And this is the example that I put last week. The example was that when you're trying to install a program into Windows, usually there's a pop-up that says, "Are you sure that you want to install this?" And you click yes. Okay. And I think that Windows Vista used to have a pop-up, and it would ask you to enter the administrator username and password. This also happens with corporate computers when you're trying to install a program, and it's restricted and it's asking you for the username and password. So something similar happening in Linux that has the administrator password. No, I'm sorry. The administrator user is called root, not Groot, like what is it called, that movie? I forgot the name of the movie. Groot. I am Groot. But this one is root, like the tree, R-O-O-T. So that's the name of the admin user, and then you also have your own username. In this case, my username is Neo. So what happens is that when you use the administrator password to run commands, if you make a mistake, you can really mess up your system. So let's continue here for now. I think it finished downloading Ruby. And what's the next step? It says RVM use 242 default. So let me copy paste that. Let me clear the screen so I can go to the top. It says using Homeo, okay. So just to verify that you have Ruby correctly installed, you can type in Ruby space -v, and it shows Ruby 242. So what I usually do is I close the terminal again, and I open it again just to make sure that it's installed. So let me close this, open it again. So that's Control-Alt-T, and type in Ruby, V again, see what happens. Ruby-V, yeah, V means version. Ruby, so it says that it's installed, Ruby 242. Okay, so we're getting there. That's it. I mean, for this, you don't have to use this gemsets part. So let's just continue. Okay, so for the Mac is similar, although for the Mac, there's, for the Mac it's the same thing. Okay, now we need to install a gem. So a gem is, as you can see here, GEM. Gems are like software modules, like software packages that you can add on into Ruby to do like different types of things. In this case, there's already a gem called T, and that gem is used to connect to the Twitter API. So it's as simple as doing this, gem install T, and let's see if that works. And use, yeah, there's a question here. Can you just sudo apt install Ruby? That's a good question. Hey, and I think you're learning something. That's a great question. There are different ways of installing Ruby. The best way that I have seen, because I've done it many times, is following the process that I show you. Because if you, for example, you can just run, you can install it with a single command, and the command is sudo apt install Ruby. That sometimes have like secondary effects, and it installs things in different locations, in different folders, and if it doesn't work, then it's gonna be really hard trying to troubleshoot that. So let's see. What was it doing? Gem install T. So let me just type it. Gem install T. Let's see, and that's going to do something. Downloading some packages. Okay, just wait like a minute or two. Anybody have questions, comments? Is it really simple, or is it hard? And this is just the setup. Once you have the setup, like connecting to the Twitter API is very simple, as long as you know some Linux commands, of course.
And Tom, everybody's muted, so that if they're going to respond, it definitely will be through text.
Yeah. So let's see. Usually when you install a gem, it installs with all the documentation, and that can take some time. Usually, some developers don't like to install the documentation because it takes too much space and it takes too much time to install things. Like if I'm only installing one gem, only one package, sometimes you have to install 20 packages, and that thing can be like just trying to download forever. Well, not forever, but forever in coding terms means like 10 minutes. Let me see. I think while this is downloading, someone said something on the chat. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so it looks like it's done. Let me see what is the next step. Okay, so now, drum roll. Let me clear the screen. I need to connect to a Twitter API now. But first I need to make that connection between the terminal and the application that I created on Twitter. So I need to type in the authorize. The authorize. So this is saying right here, welcome. Before you can use T, you first need to register an application with Twitter. So step number 1, create an app. We did that already. Number 2, complete the required fields and submit the form. We did that, which was the name of the app, description, and website. Number 3, it says go to the permissions tab and change the access setting to read, write, and access direct messages. We did that already. Number 4, it says go to the keys and access tokens tab to view the consumer key and secret key, which you need to copy and paste below. So basically, I need to go back to my account and look up those keys and then copy them here. So it says press enter to open the Twitter developer site. I'm going to click enter. And that's going to open this. So this is the one that I did last night on Twitter. So this is the new one. So let me click on this one. And I need to go to keys and access tokens. By the way, you shouldn't share this with anybody, otherwise they might be able to have access to the Twitter app. So when we're done here, probably I'm gonna delete it. But just for now, let's see. Consumer API key, is that what it's asking me? Yes. So copy. So paste here, API secret, copy, paste, and it says here, in a moment, you will be directed to a Twitter app authorization page. Perform the following steps. 1, sign into Twitter. 2, press authorize app. 3, copy and paste the supply PIN number. So press enter and authorize app. Yes. PIN number. Copy paste the PIN number here. Enter. And we're done. Now we are connected to a Twitter API. So let me make sure. Clear the screen. If I type in T, who am I? And it should give me my user account. So right now we're good. We are connected to a Twitter API. We can download as much data as we can. Of course, within API limits, I don't remember right now what the API limits are, but we can Google them. But the first thing that we can do is the demo, right? We want to take a Twitter list and convert that into a CSV file. So let's see. I don't know if you guys want me to do any Twitter list that you want. You can put it on the chat, and I can try to do it. Otherwise, I'll try to look one up from one of these users. And actually, I did one last night. Let me see. I think I follow Amazon Web Services. And they have 4 lists. So I click here. Let's see. Oh, it's actually down here already. So they have this list. One of them is, let's see. Maybe we can export this one. This one says AWS Community Heroes. So let me click on this Twitter list. But basically what we want from here is the handle name and the name of the Twitter list. So let's see. Okay, so the name of the user handle is AWS Cloud. And the name of the Twitter list is AWS Community, etc. So let's just copy this part. Okay. So let me go back to the website because I have followed the instructions. That's why I have the instructions there. I wouldn't need this anymore. And we can close this, and these two, and these two, and okay, the authorize, we did that already. We connected to a Twitter API. So I explained about the input and output to send data. So it's very important to understand, and there's more information on this article here, what I mentioned before, which is redirecting data from one place to another place. 1 greater than sign means to add. 2 greater than signs means to append. So basically, with the first one, with 1 greater than sign, if you use it twice, you will replace the contents of a file. If you use 2 greater than signs, you will not overwrite the file, but you will add to the file. So I don't know if I should remind you a little bit of the Linux commands from last week. So to navigate inside a directory, if you type in ls, it will show you the content of the current directory, which is going to show directories and files. If you type, for example, ls-l, which means long, then it shows the contents of the directory in a different way. So for example, in this one, these are all directories, and I know because they start with the letter D, and they usually, they look blue. So if I create a file here, it's going to show in a different color. I can type, for example, ls-a to view hidden files, and all of the hidden files are the ones that start with a period. So for example, a period bash profile, that's a hidden file. If I go to a folder, like in the Windows folder here, I will not see that file there because it's hidden. To learn more about what a command does, you can prefix the word with the word man. So if I type in man space ls, then it'll show me more information about how to use that. Man means manual, but often it's just called the man page. and you can navigate using the arrows going down, using the arrow, or you can go up using the arrow. And to get out of the screen, you can type in the letter Q, and you can get out. So this is another command, clear. To know where you are on like in the tree, in the directory. If I type in PWD, it shows me the whole path of the directory where I am right now. So PWD means working directory, print working directory. So let's type in. PWD means print the name of the current directory. So to get out, I can type in Q. So remember that is man PWD. To get the man page of that command, type in Q to get out. To change directories, I can use the command CD, which means change directory. So let me type ls again. Let me go to documents. So as change directory documents. So as you can see, it's not, even though I type really fast, I don't type as fast as, I just type DOC and type the whole thing. But what I usually do is that when you hit the tab key, it auto-completes to the closest of what you type. So for example, if you type just D, there are many directories with the letter D. So if I hit tab once, it doesn't do anything. But if I hit tab twice, it gives me all of the options that start with D. So let's go to documents. And I think I have a few documents here, maybe not. Okay, so let me just create a document here. And this is where we can export those CSV files. To create a file, the example that I gave last week was creating a file called emails. So let me clear the screen. And that's using the command touch. So to get the man page for that, touch is explained as change file timestamps. The problem with these manual pages is that it's written by very technical people, so they usually don't know how to explain this in plain terms, I guess. Like touch to me means create file, but whoever wrote it just put change file timestamps, whatever. So to get out, type in the letter Q. And so let's see. If I do touch emails.csv, then it creates a file called emails.csv. To make sure that I created a file, I can type in the letters ls to list the contents of the directory. So as you can see, it created a file called emails. And if I want to add content to that file, I can either go to that folder in documents and use a text editor, hopefully not Word, but you can use Sublime Text. So Sublime Text, if you don't know what it is, we saw it last week a little bit. Sublime Text, Google that, Sublime Text. The website is sublimetext.com. It's a text editor that is very popular with developers. It looks like this. It's just a text editor. There's not much of a mystery, but it has a lot of functionality and is very light. It doesn't consume a lot of memory. So you can download this. This works for Mac, for Windows, for Linux. You can download the trial version, which is trial forever. The only thing is that it's going to, every time that you open it, it's going to ask you, do you want to buy it? But you can click cancel and keep on using it. Although that gets a little bit annoying after a while, or you can buy it. I don't know how much it costs right now. Let's see, $80. That's it. But that's only one fee. You pay that, and you don't have to. It's not like you have to pay every year.
And Tom, if you use version 2, it's free indefinitely and doesn't ask for the purchase. If you use Sublime 2, that's what we used in teaching the code class too.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you use Sublime 2. Yeah, if it's free, then better. Like I used Sublime 2 for a while. I didn't want to download Sublime 3 because, when you update things, strange things happen. But if this one is free, download this one. So you just Google Sublime Text 2 and you will get right to the downloads page. So let me just add some contents really quickly to this file. which is something that we did last week. Let me see if I have this. I use a text editor called Vim, which is very big text editor, although I don't have that installed. Let's see. Hope it doesn't take too much time. Okay, almost. So I love this text editor because it's what is called mouse free. You don't use the mouse. You manipulate the file only using the keyboard. So that helped me become very focused on when doing this type of work. Okay, so I did already clear the screen, list the contents again. So let me open that file and let me add some content. And I think this is what we did last week. First, last email. Oops. Okay, yeah, I think we do something with that. Elon@tesla.com. Then Tim Cook. Okay, and then save this file. To view the contents of this file, you can use a command called cat. And if I type in mancat, it's going to show me the instructions on how to use that command, and it means concatenate files and print on the standard output. What that means in human language. So typing Q to get out. To me, cat means open a file, extract the contents, and put the contents into the screen of the terminal. Okay. So the screen of the terminal, the proper terminology for that is the standard output. Okay. So if I do cat, let me see, what was it? If I do cat emails, it's going to extract the contents of that file and print it to the standard output, which is the terminal screen. And as you can see, that happened. If I want to add new contents to the file, I can either open it again and just add another row, or I can add content using a command called echo. So let me review that really quickly. Man echo. So echo says displaying a line of text. And I'm going to show you how it works. If I can type echo, see double quotes, and okay, let me Tom. Let's see, domain is tom.tom.com. And then you have to send it to a file. So remember that one greater than sign. If I type in the name of a file, I'm going to overwrite the contents of that file with only this line. But I don't want to do that. I want to append, which is like it's going to add this row to the bottom of the file. So if I do that, you'll see that nothing happens. But if you do cat emails, you'll see that that row has been added to the end of the file. The other command was the pipe, which is something that we're going to use now. And let's see. I think the example was using cat, counting the number of lines. Okay. So there's a command called WC. So let's type in man WC. And it says right here, print new line, word, and byte counts for each file. And it has an option called -L that says print the new line counts. So we're going to use, let's see, we're going to use cat emails, and we're going to use the pipe symbol. So cat emails is going to extract the contents and print it to the standard output. But instead of that, I don't want to do it. I want to send that output to this command called WC, and I want to count the number of lines. So it's going to give me a number, and the number is 4. So then 4 means that file has 4 lines. Okay, so I think we're in better shape. Like a quick reminder of Linux commands. So the next thing that we were gonna do was actually, and I have this explanation here, so it's great. Redirecting that data with pipe. How to search on Twitter. Okay. So yeah, so perhaps let's go through the basic commands before we go to the CSV. part. And so the first one is thelp. So thelp is going to show you all of the commands available to interact with the Twitter API. So if you type in thelp, it's going to show something. Okay. So scroll up. I usually don't scroll up or down. What I do is thelp type less. Okay. So basically, what's going to do is just going to show me results like on pages where I can scroll down with the arrow instead of the mouse. Let's see. Okay. So I can go up and down with the arrows. So thelp, you can use all of these commands: taccounts, tauthorize, delete. So it has a lot of commands to interact with the Twitter API. This is very helpful. And it's just a lot of commands and subcommands. So for instance, there's a like a submenu, like a sub help. If I type in, let's see, delete help, it has different ways, like different combinations of commands. Let's see what's the next one. So I can send a tweet from the terminal, and let's see if it works. The update. Let's see. Maybe I can tag someone. I don't know who is on the call. I think there's a sources who code. Is that hello sources? Let me see, because now I don't remember. Sources who code. What's the handle for this? Sources, plural, right? Sources who code. Sources who code. Hello, hello from the terminal. This is me. Let's see what happens. It says posted. So let's go back. Let's go to here, and let's see if I tweeted that or not. Look, so it's right here. Hello, sources of code from the terminal. This is new. Isn't this awesome? I mean, to me, this is awesome. This is like, oh my God, Morpheus, Neo, the Matrix, right? Okay, let's continue. Let's get serious now. You can search for more information about a user. So, for example, if I type into T who is Tomordones or T who is whoever, I can get the information of that user. So let's do 2. Let's do 2 T who is Tomordones to follow the example, and that's gonna show me, all of the information about my user account. T who is sources who code. So it's right here. Tweets, favorite, followers, bio, etc. URL. Okay. Next one is this one is cool. Create a list of people that don't follow you. Okay. So there are like different combinations of how to manage the data of people that you follow, that they don't follow you, and different combinations. So this is create a list of people that don't follow you. T leaders. Pipe WC-L. So it says first count the number of people that you follow don't follow you back. I mean, we can do this later, or you can do this later and you can try it out and see how it works. But let me just go to getting the CSV file. CSV file. So this is the format of that formula. Excuse me. T list members -C. Then you have the user, the handle name, the name of the Twitter list, a greater than sign to send the output of that to a file, and that's a CSV file. So the example was this one. Oops, I lost it. It was Amazon. Let me see. Now let me just open it again really quickly. Amazon Web Services, more, list. Open this one. This is the one that I wanted to get. AWS Community Heroes. So what I need is the handle name, what is it? // and the name of the Twitter list. So let me copy this. So remember, that was T list members -C. Okay, so let's do it. Let me clear this. T list members -C, and I need to delete this part. Okay, so this is something that is very helpful. Look, so you see, like I use the whole width of the screen, and then when I type in more stuff, it's gonna be confusing because it's in a new line. And why? Because this part, the beginning of like the prompt, is using a lot of space already. Like all of this is using a lot of space, and I don't want that there. I usually just have the $sign. So let me just change that really quickly because I never have it like that, and it just annoys me, and I just cannot continue with life if I have that. So you need to change something in your configuration. Okay, let me see. Let me try to remember what that is. I think it is Vim bash. Is it bash RC? Let me just do it really quickly. Otherwise, I cannot. I cannot do it. I cannot do this. Okay. I think it's here. Let's see. I need to remove this. UH, and there's a W somewhere else. Okay, remove this. And this W here. And done. And this one too. I'm gonna do this with this. Okay, save this file, and I need to reload the terminal, so I need to close it and open it again. Close the terminal, open it again, Control-Alt-T, and oops, okay, I missed a semicolon, a colon there, which I don't like. Sorry, I just need to change this, otherwise I won't be able to sleep at night. Where is that colon? It's right here. The trick is sneaky. Okay. So let me close this again, open it again. Control Alt T, man. Come on. Okay, now I can concentrate. Now I'm happy. Okay, what was I doing? Now I forgot what I was doing. Typing ls, what am I going now? I have to go into the documents. This is why it's important to learn the commands, the Linux commands, because right now, like, it only shows the $sign. You don't know where you are right now. To know where you are, when you type in pwd, it's going to show you like the full path of the directory, and it tells you you're in documents. Okay. And what files did I have here? Okay, that file. And the formula was tlist members -c and etc. So I already know. Tlist members -c, and it had. I need to remove this part that says list. And then send the output to a file, and I'm going to name it the same, AWS Community Heroes. .csv. Let me see if that works. Please work. Okay, so usually when it doesn't say anything, it means that it works. When it gives you an error, it doesn't work. Let me see. Type in ls again, and look, it created a file. So let me open it with Vim to see if it shows something. So it looks like we got something. So let me open it with Excel. Although in here it's not called Excel, it is called LibreOffice. So let me open that folder, and this is in Documents. Let's see. Open Documents, and open this with LibreOffice. Let's see what we have. Okay, so tab. So look, we got some data. So this is what we got. We have ID. We have, this is the date where they signed up to Twitter. Last tweeted, tweets, favorites listed, following followers, screen name, some more data. It has a bio. It has status. It has location. It has URL. Okay, this is all the data of all of those people. And then, when the first time that I made this work a few years ago, I was like, oh wow, what can I do with this? I was like, this is awesome, all of this data. And then I started going crazy and downloading a bunch of Twitter lists from everybody, from conferences, from just a bunch of data. And then what can I use with this data? And then I realized, I have the name, I have the handles, I have their first name and last name. I have the last tweet. I have their bio. I know what they like, sort of. It's like technologies. I found some guy that's I'm a brewer. I like music. So it's this is very personal information, detailed information. I have the location. I have their website. I can whois a website and try to find an email. Let's try that. Just for the sake of it. Let me copy this. Copy. It doesn't let me copy like this. Okay, it doesn't matter. So let me. Where's my terminal? Whois is not installed in this machine, but sudo installed whois. Password. Okay, setting up whois. So when I did this, okay, let me see. What was it? This one right here. Neck. Neck. Let me see if I can remember it. Whois neck. Whois neck. And maybe we have an email here, maybe not, but at least we tried. Okay, so it looks like this guy is using Amazon Web Service. Of course, right? He is what is this again? AWS Community Heroes. So that makes sense. So then, the first thing that I did was, okay, I did exactly that. I did, okay, maybe I can whois a website and see if I can get some content. And I thought, can I whois all of the websites and try to get that information? So I did that. I wrote a script, and I fed the script, input and output, right? I fed the script with all of this, with a bunch of domains, and I started whoising, I don't know, that's not a verb, but I started whoising every domain and trying to pull the data, and suddenly I started getting a bunch of emails, and I was like, oh my God, I have all of these emails. What can I do with these emails? So then I thought, okay, so I have the first name, right? And I have the location. So I thought maybe I can send an email to all of these people and automate it and customize it, because I have their name, so I can say that, hey, Larry, and auto-complete it somehow. And then I can say something like, hey, so, I love your latest tweet, and then put the tweet. And then say, hey, so how is Seattle today? Isn't that personalized? And start interacting with people like that. So I thought, hey man, this is really awesome. So that's one thing that I started doing, sort of compiling this into these automated marketing campaigns with this data. Another thing that I have done is automating direct messages in a similar way. So automating the direct messages is I have all of their usernames, and it's following the same example. I can start automating those DMs through the terminal, because that's why I have these. I'm not using something else. So I wrote a script, and I said, okay, what can I use to start sending those DMs? Okay, and I found here that you can do that, So I think it's TDM. Is T direct _ messages, or it's one of those anyways. So I started, I wrote a script, and then I started feeding this data into a script to start automating the direct messages in a personalized way, Hey, at Nathaniel, how's it going? The same thing, How is Munich today? Love it. Please reply back when you have a chance. So that's it, that's what I can show you about the Twitter API. So to get all of the details, you can go in here. Where is it? It's called, it's really long. It's called Sourcing with the Twitter API. It has all of the content there, everything that I explained today. Requirements, you need to have a Twitter account. You need to create an app in your Twitter account. You need Linux, or you can use it in Mac too. That's fine. You need to learn some Linux commands. Otherwise, it's going to be completely useless. You won't be able to type. You can try, but you won't be able to get the data if you don't know how to redirect the output into a file. You can use these authorize the app. So this is about input and output using the pipe. Just a few commands, just the pipe. The pipe is really hard to understand, so if you don't understand it here, just Google it and Google redirection with pipe in Linux or Linux pipe, and you will find a ton of websites that have all of the information that you can about the pipe. People have written about the pipe for years, so you'll find a lot of information. You can go to YouTube, same thing. Later on, as you learn more commands, you can understand something like this. This is a little bit more complex. This one, T leaders, pipe, X arcs, it starts to become very complex. But you need to get the basics first to be able to understand this stuff. So that's it. That's everything that I wanted to show you today. If you guys have any Twitter list, if you didn't, like I mentioned on my post on Facebook, if you were not able to install everything up to here, if you have a Twitter list that you want to create a CSV file, put it in the comments right now. We still have some time, and I can export the CSV right now and send it to you. Let's see. Anybody? Okay.
Hi, Tom. This is Eugene.
Okay.
Thank you for this session. It's really helpful, impressive. I just put a question on the chat. Is this possible? Can this be done on Facebook too, like the Facebook platform?
It's possible, but not with this gem, not with this software module, because this one is only applicable to Twitter. But I'm assuming, I haven't checked yet, but it's possible that there's a way to connect to a Facebook API using Ruby or using Python. I will have to check on that and let you know later.
Cool. Yeah, maybe it might be worthwhile to look at it too. Thank you.
All right.
Any other questions out there? We've got everybody on mute.
Any questions? Anybody that wants a CSV file for one of the Twitter lists? Maybe I can do another quick example really quickly. I know that there was, I don't know. I like to do this for conferences because people start adding. Someone starts adding people to a list for a conference, and when the conference is coming up, I can start automating messages. Hey, are you gonna be here in the city? I know there's a Ruby conference coming up. RubyConf. I think it's in New Orleans. I went to this one a few years back. And I could do, if you're looking for Ruby programmers, you can do something like that. You can look for a Twitter list that, I don't know, I think the hashtag is usually RubyConf. Let's see. RubyConf. And search for one of these users and see if someone has a Twitter list. And if they're adding people to a Twitter list, you can export the CSV. I don't know. I think there was a Twitter conference, right? What was it? Ere Media or Ere Recruiting something. I don't even remember. It's Ere 17. Maybe one of these they have a Twitter list. People that attended that, and you can export the CSV file. So this one doesn't have lists, but you have the idea. What do you say here? Chief architects in Washington D.C. Yeah, you mean like search for people in the city, or is it a conference in D.C.? People in the city? It's possible. Yeah, we have to figure it out. You have to start looking at the commands from the API. Where did it go? Where's my terminal? We have to start looking at this and see how we can find that information. There's one that says, let's see, search through tweets. Set, change, okay, status, stream, comments, trend locations, returns the location for which Twitter. So let's see, let's type in T-search help. If there's a help for T-search. T-search, all query. Returns the 20 most recent tweets, favorites, help, list. Return tweets on a list that match something. Search mention. There's a lot of combinations that you can try. So what I recommend is you start trying different commands and see what you get. And that's, I think that could be a good starting point. Any questions, any comments, anybody that wanna get a CSV from a Twitter list? Yes?
This is Jason. I had a quick question just in general was, why did we install Ruby and the gems when it looked like all the commands we were using were just Unix commands?
Because these commands, like this T command, this T command, this is not exactly a Linux command, but this is a command that comes with a gem. Okay, so just using the letter T is part of that gem that we installed. If you don't install Ruby and you don't install a gem, if you type T into a terminal, you won't get anything. It's like typing. It would be the same as typing A. It's like it would say command not found.
Okay, thank you.
Was the question or no? All right. Anybody else? Anybody?
All right. Well, if nobody else, then what we can do is I'll stop the recording here, and I'll make this available to everyone.